amid the ongoing conflict in Gaza and the ongoing ground assault on terror group Hamas. Israel Prime Minister Netanyahu has met his Italian counterpart Giorgia Meloni. Calling on the Italian PM, Netanyahu said, "We have to defeat this barbarism," adding how the battle remains between the forces of civilization and those who have committed barbarities, who have committed crimes in the ongoing war. Still with us on the broadcast is Mr. Sanjeev Srivastava. Sir, what do you make of this meeting between the Israel PM and his Italian counterpart? And of course, he's also said that we have to defeat the ongoing barbarism. What do you make of this, sir?
Certainly, I think this war against terrorism must be fought and won. And that is the kind of a determination entire international community will have to show. Because terrorism in any forms and manifestation is not acceptable anywhere in the international community, whether these terrorists are operating in Gaza or in Pakistan or in Canada or elsewhere. I think international community will have to get united to defeat this menace of terrorism from the face of the earth. I think that is the message that should go loud and clear. And I think when Israel is fighting this war against Hamas, against terrorism, I think the visits of the global leaders, such as this visit of Italian Prime Minister as well as Cyprus's president, and before that British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak visited there, and before that President Joe Biden himself visited and went to ground zero, and obviously the U.S. Secretary of State and Secretary of Defense and the U.S. CENTCOM chief, etc., they've all been visiting Israel to coordinate with Israel and to show the solidarity with Israel when it is fighting this war against terrorism. But yes, these forces of civilization, they must prevail over these evil forces. And I think as British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has said very categorically that the evil of this modern time is terrorism, and that the evil must be defeated. We are in India. We are going to celebrate this Dussehra festival. This is another symbol of victory of good over evil. So I think the evil must be defeated wherever it is, and I think that terrorism in all its forms and manifestation must be defeated. And that kind of resolve and understanding is very much essential. And I'm sure that the visits of these world leaders to Israel and to show the solidarity in their fight against terrorism is absolutely essential. India has also showed this solidarity with Israel from day one. And obviously, we are very much there with Israel in their war against terrorism. So, but another point I would like to mention here, that at the same time when Israel is fighting this war against terrorism, civilian life, innocent people must not get impacted, and they have suffered hard in Gaza, and now I think all efforts must be made to ensure that the civilians are not not put in harm's way. And another point which is very important is that it is essential also for the world leaders to ensure that this war does not get escalated in any way. It should not become a regional conflict. It should not become a war between nations, which terrorists want it to become. Terrorists actually, they wanted to wedge a divide between the forces of civilization. And when Abraham Accords were signed, I think the dialogue was going on among civilization, Christianity, Islam, and between the Judaism. I think this kind of dialogue, which began with the Abraham Accords signing, these terrorists wanted to disrupt this process, and they did not want to see the normalization of relations between the Israel and Arab nations, and also a country like Iran. It is quite because Iran has always been suspicious of growing ties between the Sunni Muslim countries like Saudi Arabia and UAE with Israel. So possibly, largely, it appears that Iran could be a part of this plot which Hamas carried out, though U.S. National Security Advisor Jack Sullivan had said categorically that there is no direct evidence that they trained these terrorists, but yes, largely it appears that it is Iranian-backed plot, that could be a possibility. Obviously, that's a matter of investigation. More reports will come out and will come to know who plotted this terror attack. But one thing is quite certain, that these terrorists wanted to, disrupt this normalization process. They wanted to promote this idea of a clash of civilizations, and obviously, if they should not be allowed to do that, and that kind of a design must not allow to get succeed, and that is why conversations, dialogue, peace initiatives is very much essential, and I'm sure that with this kind of visits to Israel, and also the kind of summit which Egypt is planning to organize, Cairo Peace Summit, and several such dialogue and negotiations. Yesterday, President Biden spoke to President Abbas. Our Prime Minister Narendra Modi also spoke to the Palestine President Abbas. And I think such kind of dialogue and understanding and conversations must go on. And if this continues, and if the normalization process continues, even after this kind of a heinous terror attack, I think that will be the biggest defeat of these terrorists. And that must be done. They must be eliminated physically as well as ideologically too, with this kind of dialogue and negotiations and conversations between the leaders, between the religions, between the civilizations. And I think that is another aspect, a very important aspect of this entire war which Israel is fighting, and this war certainly must be fought and won in every way.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.